It's Wednesday here on lichess.org and Twitch. My Twitch channel, Sladgie International Master William Pascal. We're going to be playing what I call unusual openings here, which means stuff that I don't normally do. Got a new donation from Paxim1771 for $5. I'd like to thank you for that. You guys can see on the Streamlabs, scrolling across the bottom of our stream, there's a list of people who donated. Highliger Bimbom and Paxim. Highliger Bimbom with a $20 donation. Paxim with 5. And as you guys know, Move 11, the biggest donator with $60. Acerbate with 25 two times. Thanks guys for supporting the stream. Clash Kid yesterday and Jim, among others, with donations of bits via Twitch. So thanks again, guys. We're going to be playing time control between 5+3 and 7+3. I've got a challenge from Fuzzy Logic. Guess we'll take this to start the stream. Let's get it started. We got... I sound like a Canadian. Alright, what's up, guys? Hello. The two pandas are here. Hello. So I always forget to play unusual openings when I start the stream usually. But let's not do that. Let's start with something off the wall. So we're going to play e4, but then we're going to mix it up with something that I don't normally do. Maybe a King's Gambit. No, there's French defense. Ugh. What are we going to do against the French defense? I like to play Queen e2. This is always fun. If I play the same thing every time, then it ceases to be a weird opening. But this only comes around like every couple weeks. I've been doing simul's on Wednesdays sometimes too, to kind of mix it up. We don't always have to do the same activity. I thought it would be more fun to mix in different things. So here, Fuzzy Logic playing c5. If you guys challenge me between 5+3 and 7+3, casual, rapid, or blitz, with an increment is essential so I can commentate the game. Okay, so c5 becomes a Sicilian. Some form of closed Sicilian without knight c3, generally speaking. I mean, I guess you could play a King's Indian attack as well. Knight f3 and g3. We could just do that. It's not really what I'm used to here, but let's try it. Normally, I don't like to block my f-pawn in these types of positions, but we could transpose to a rather standard King's Indian attack type of thing here. The unusual move order of Queen e2 on move 2. He can't play d5. That's one virtue of this. I mean, he can play it, but he's going to lose a tempo with the queen capture, like in a Scandinavian. It's not impossible for black to try that. What's up, everyone? I'm not seeing any chat. I've been starting the stream at different times. A lot of 12:30s and 12:15s. I think nobody knows when exactly I'm going to be starting my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday streams because I'm mixing them up. Okay, so b6 with the possible fianchetto. Against Fuzzy Logic, I have 3 wins and a draw. I don't remember our games. They're all blitz, no simul. You haven't played in my simuls. Oh, you did once. The original first game. So, what's up with this? Bishop g2. If you play something like a5, I have to start thinking about how I'm going to handle that. I probably meet it with a4. You could also play c3, but I don't want to play for d4. I don't want to weaken my white squares too much here. It's a little squishy to do something like c3, d3, all these soft squares where the pawns have moved up. That's a kind of clamp, a big clamp system. But in the big clamp system, normally I would be playing f4. My knight is actually blocking my f-pawn here, which, good book, I recommend. It's out of print. It's called Modern Chess Opening Theory by the deceased Soviet Grandmaster Alexei Swaytin. Swaytin describes it as piece and pawn coordination when the pieces are kind of behind the pawn shell. And in closed positions, I think that's important. So now g6, he's going for a double fianchetto. Fianchetto. Why do we have no chat? Where is the chat? Where is everybody? Where's everyone? They're trolling me. It's like a surprise birthday party. There's Anonymous. Camel's here. Not just one of our many camel friends. So he's trying for a double fianchetto. Wonder if you could do like a gambit with d4. Probably not appropriate here. Eventually I'm going to play c3 to kill his g7 bishop now. As I mentioned, this kind of softens my position. I'm not so much trying to play d4 here, though it would be an idea if black played excessively passive moves. Basically, I made a lot of pawn moves. I'm just trying to retain control of d4 and nullify that bishop on g7. So he's just playing for the double fianchetto. I mean, now you'd think about like rook d1 to really try to play d4. Let's see, rook d1, knight e7, d4, cd, cd, d5. And it seems like black has a reasonable position there. Both sides have reasonable positions. Let's do it. We need a plan. I'm playing the Worrell attack against the Sicilian. It's kind of weird. I might end up in a situation where... Well, I mean, there's a couple things I could do. I mean, I could take on d5, or I could close the center with e5 when I play d4 and he plays d5. If that's what's going to happen here. I'm using a lot of time, maybe too much time, objectively. I think you could argue that I'm spending too much time in the opening stage. In a 7+3 game, I'm having fun, but when you're playing an opening that you don't know too well, the Queen E2 French in this case, it's not like it's familiar territory. I can just reel off the moves. I'm making this up as I go along, basically. What's up, Merle Dixon? We had the tournament yesterday where I finished 5th place. That was one of my worst. So now e5. Knight g4, d4, and my center is supported. So it looks like a weird Alyukhin. But after e5, knight d5, black's position is probably not too bad. It seems strange to put the knight on f6, though. Spectacular camel. What do you think? Having gone e6, why would he play knight to f6? Having said a, why would you say... You know, it is very surprising to see knight f6, but e5, knight d5, probably not so bad for black. Both knights in front of f-pawns. Of course, in my case, the only real question was I to play f4 in front first. Okay, so now what do we do? Well, now he can play knight e4. This is his point, I guess. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I wasn't really counting on that. e5, knight e4. I'm not super thrilled with that position. It's just so entrenched on my side of the board. It's just a kind of weird Rosenthalis c3 Sicilian now. Eduardas Rosenthalis is a Lithuanian grandmaster. He liked to play a special system with g3 in the c3 Sicilian, which is kind of unusual. What's up, Jim? AKA Dim. Clash Kid with 14.99 bits. Jim is second at 700. Thanks, guys. We've got Fishrat Cow in 3rd place. Weekly top cheerers. Merle Dixon, Spectacular Camel are both here. Percy Hepworth, Acerbate, Move 11, and Rufus and Doofus, another streamer. All right, now black playing a little passive with 97, but okay. He's prepared, supporting his strong point. What do you do? What do you do when they come for you? I don't know, guys. I think the time is going to be an issue for me. Black is very solid. So there's another one where that one came from. Interesting idea is 94. Not that great, really. I'm kind of indecisive, as you can see. Bishop g5, h6. The landscapers are landscaping in January across the street. That makes a lot of sense. Alright, knight on c to e7. Thank you, Dim, for the donation. Just irritates me when there's loud noises outside when I'm streaming. Maybe this move just helps black, I guess. But I'm running out of time. I have no read on my opponent. I mean, we've only played Fuzzy Logic like 4 games. And I like to have some information, but I played thousands of games on lichess, and I can't remember an opponent where I've only played them like 3 or 4 games. I don't have enough information to basically modify my play to take advantage of their, let's say, weaknesses. I don't know what to do. It's kind of a weird move, but it gets everything a little more on track. On the dark squares, no weak spots for black. Yeah, a little bit around the squares. I'm trying to work on this here, but it's not much. I really thought he should have played h6 when I went bishop g5. But it's like a Caro-Kann, you know, a very solid Caro-Kann Panov, what we're seeing here. Exceptionally solid player. Thank you, Jim and Merle, for your donations, and thanks to Spectacular Camera, Spectacular Camel, for subscribing 7 months in a row. Where does time go to? No kidding. We don't have much here. The hanging pawns. A little bit of weakness around the black king, but there's not enough pieces in the right place to generate any threats. I suppose I could have changed tack and played like bishop f4 there, but I don't know what that would do. Maybe it was kind of interesting. Where would his queen go? You know, he doesn't have a great square for the queen. If I was black and someone played bishop f4, I'd probably play queen back to d8 and offer a draw or something. I don't know. c4 is dangerous. d7 walks into knight e5. He didn't really have a great square. This is the ELO police. ELO, if we say it. We pronounce the Hungarian name correctly. Arpad ELO. People say ELO, like ELO. The 80s band Electric Light Orchestras, that's 70s. Weird move. Knight takes g7 in a way. Alright, what are we gonna do, kids? Black's just, excuse me, that's black. Black is just too solid. It's ridiculous how solid they are. Okay, a good outpost square. He pre-moved bishop takes g2. What is Fuzzy Logic's rating? I mean, 1833, 1810, and then blitz 1678, man. This guy is solid. He's still equal after 20 moves. Indian tea. Well, that's why they went to the Orient, right? To get tea. I mean, they being like the British and various international explorers. Alright, does anybody have any idea what I'm supposed to do around here? I don't think his logic is very fuzzy at all, dude. I mean, this guy, he's 1800. He's playing like 2000. And quick, too. I don't know how he could be 1600. Did we have this discussion last time I played the guy? I don't remember what happened. He has a draw against me. I remember that was a tough game. Yeah, the last game was tough. I eventually beat him, but he played the same thing. He was like rock solid all the way to the bitter end and eventually collapsed in the end game. Yeah, another good move. Okay, there's a little bit of a weakness, like a little bit of a weakness with the e6 pawn, giving me some counterplay. Like the first target I've had all day. What can you say? The knight is a monster. We're just gonna play this heavy piece endgame and hope I can outplay him. Taking with the pawn is interesting, but I mean, having placed a rook on the e file, I think I prefer that. Pawn takes would weaken my king a little bit too, so it's completely equal. Black played basically no mistakes. I think that both sides, this is one of those no mistakes for both sides games. If we look now, it'd be like 20 cent upon loss or less for both sides. Right here. No mistakes, major errors of any kind for either side. We can squeeze him, maybe. We both have a weak point. I guess the advantage of my position is that his weak point is closer to his king than my weak point. And it's hard to believe he's 1600 in blitz, man. I mean, what's going on around here? I think he missed queen a4 there. Is he like attacking me? On the king side? He's faster than me. Equally strong. He missed a really strong move there with queen a4. Now he played. Is he listening to the stream? Who is this guy? I'm scared. Really not clear who's better now. I don't know, he makes the moves like instantaneously. How could he possibly be 1600 in blitz? Rook d8. Now maybe I have h5? And that's an incredibly strong move to find. With like very little time. I'm about to lose on time. What? I'd like to know who this guy is. He offered me a draw. But it was a strange moment to offer a draw. He seems capable of playing moves virtually instantaneously. Good moves. The rating is obviously absurd. I mean, that's ridiculous. 1,600. This guy was lost at one point, but I mean, I wouldn't play a rated game with this player. He's like 2,000 strength, rated 1,600, and much faster than me. There's nothing I can do there. Like, it's perpetual. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. All right, nice rating you got there. Very realistic. Let's do Ubatis. He's up next, 5+3. B5 was an extremely strong move to play instantaneously. I mean, I think he played almost master strength in that game. It would have been a credible game for a 2,200, basically. All right, unusual opening here. I feel like I just drew a 2,200. At least a strong 2,000. Ubatis, what are we gonna do with you? So I'm not ashamed by that move, by that result. You know, draw with a 1,600. Maybe I'm getting old. Well, after that game, it took about 3 years, so I am getting old. Like, literally. Like, the longest game I ever played. I'm challenging you. Is there enough time? Saul, we just started. I don't know, man. You got the getting old comment, and then is there enough time? You're in a hurry? Is there a fire somewhere? All right, we've got Baleful, S4, Ludwig, also a subscriber now. And then these guys, someone on sound is here. Well, I was winning for a moment, but he was so fast, I couldn't find the best moves there in time scramble. Fast enough to not lose on time, basically. GG Helis. Occasionally very strong moves, but for the wrong reasons. For the wrong reasons? Okay. Just accidentally. Indian. The accidental strong moves. Theoretically at work. I've heard that before. So Ubatis started playing like Queen's Indian type of formations. The theme of today is trying to play offbeat stuff. But I feel like this was inconsistent. Not feel like, I mean, it was inconsistent to play B5 and then an A3. There really is no reason. I wasted the tempo. A little slow. Well, we had that yesterday, S4, a guy with your same style. A new opponent who did quite well in my viewer tournament last night. We thought it was I thought it was our old friend Fonza Curry. He plays like you, like instantaneously, and does make some mistakes very recklessly, but fast. But the guy was very adamant that it wasn't Fonza Curry. He was adamant that he's a different person, although Fonza Curry was always adamant that he wasn't a computer. He had like 4 accounts banned or something like that. So whatever. You can't believe what you hear, but I do have a hard time dealing with people who play like that because I'm trying to talk about the game, not really focus on the clock. So Ubatis seems like he seems like he's in good form today. Fast, and I'm not fast. Just challenged my knight on e5. If I had the bishop on d3, we'd have like Lasker Bauer double bishop sacrifice, and I think it would probably work. It's a pity. Where's Asterbait? Asterbait should play bishop d3 in this position and pray for something like rook to a c8. Yeah, but it's a little too obvious what I'm trying to do if I play like that. I think black has a good game here. I try to stir up some controversy with c4, but this is really like a good game by black. He played this perfectly. Don't try to play fast. Try to play slow and think about your moves. I strive to play quality chess, but oh man. Wow. I did not count on this. This is going to be a problem. Once again, if only my bishop was on d3. We have a problem now. We're relying on Asterbait, I said. You got us to make a mistake here because black is just better now. He played this perfectly. Rook f3 was an aggressive move. Rook f3. There's a move like I wouldn't consider. Like hanging the exchange. I mean, I like to sacrifice the exchange, but voluntarily giving it up by just dropping it on f3 never entered my mind. That's a creative thought. I got to give you credit, man. You know, that is pretty cool. But Yubatis just keeps coming at me. He buried my bishop on b2. So now our position is becoming kind of dubious. How long can I keep it? And both my pieces are buried on b2 and b1. I'm not proud of the way I played lately this game. Okay, last game was alright. I just got in time pressure, as usual. Merle Dixon, he gifted a tier 1 sub to Infinite Flash Chess. You're his sponsor. That was generous, Merle. Camel Culture's here. Are there gals here? There have been. There have been a couple recently, surprisingly. So there's still hope, Camel Culture. There's still hope. Alright, Yubatis loves endgame, so we'll go for that. This is a bad position for me. This is probably a very bad move. Man, Yubatis is in good form today. Last opponent was like 1600, who played like a master, and now we've got Yubatis in top form. But he's capable of playing, you know, expert strength. His games can be quite good. Actually, he has a propensity to blunder. This move was a real big mistake. He seems like he's making some concessions now. Why would you give up your strong point on d4? I'm not at all certain the best approach here. I like this. This is really weird. An absolutely crazy idea. I don't want material. Material sucks. I don't want to take pawns. Rook e8. Look, it's a pre-move. Where are you going? You're going to protect your pawn? How did this happen? Look how this transformed. In like 5 seconds he went from better to like lost strategically. The ultimate knight. The weird openings. Very generous. He's going to have to think about sacking an exchange at some point. I wouldn't mind, but that's probably his best option. He did it immediately. I can't be giving you that pawn. But that bishop's still really, really gross. Just gross for black. I mean, this is just... It's not a piece. It's a pawn. And it will remain a pawn forever. So it's over. I mean, this is just over. Pawn... Bishop or pawn? Yeah, man, this is ridiculous. How did this happen to black? Played impulsively. A couple impulsive moves and it's over. From a perfectly good position. If there was a simul today, Now, I can't do a simul today because my mom's in the hospital. I gotta go. Actually, I have a lesson after the stream, but I need a little extra time for the simuls. I will do like more simuls on Wednesdays in the future, though. Yeah, there's no fortress. I mean, fortress. There is a fortress, but we're going to lay siege to the fortress now. Ubatis was like, clearly better. Alright, Baleful's up next. Then S4, our subscribers. Cena, you're not a subscriber, right? But it was instructive the way that we were able to blockade the position and kill the bishop. You know, we took something away from that game, at least for the viewers. My opening was a disaster. I wasted the tempo on the queen side by playing basically b5 and a3. Either you do b5 and follow it up with a4, or you play a3 and you don't play b5, but you can't both play b5 and a3. I mean, just playing a risky opening and then at the same time wasting a tempo is really, really stupid. Painlessly. I like it painlessly. Alright, that sounds good. So, we'll open with e4 and see what we can get. JCS, what's up? Thanks for being our moderator. Soltigo's taking some time off. Maybe permanently. Karo Khan, alright. You'll never see this again. I just made it up. The hillbilly attack's a good idea, someone on sound. You know, Simon Williams played that, but it actually goes back, and I'm not sure who coined the phrase hillbilly attack, but it was an old favorite of Jack Young, who used to write Bozo's Chess Emporium for the now defunct, well, not defunct, but basically defunct Chess Horizons, which was the Massachusetts chess magazine. Used to be like the best state chess magazine in the United States in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s at one point. But Jack Young is like a connoisseur. He's a master, USCF master, who is a connoisseur of unusual openings. And I suspect that Jack, who's been inactive for like the last 20 years, I suspect Jack might have been the one who actually coined that name, but I'm not certain. But this is probably, I mean, I had some games with Asa Hoffman in Blitz at the Manhattan Chess Club years ago, I think, which is defunct too. I think that we probably had some kind of, you know, game where I was black against Asa's Chess Gladiator. Basically, he liked to play knight c3 on move 1 all the time. Legendary New York chess fixture. We had a bunch of games like knight c3, you know, d5, and could transpose to one of these. Knight c3, d5, e4. So what's going on now? This move looks kind of risky. b5. Black has to worry about bishop takes b5. It's a gift. The gift variation. Is this some sort of trap? Bishop takes b5. We're looking at f7, but look the other way. Bishop takes b5, cb5, knight f6 check. I guess e takes f, queen takes a8. Thank you for the rook. Brah. Now, can he do anything tricky like queen e7 check? I don't think so. So this should be good. It's a hillbilly attack. It's like a deferred... Hillbilly attack deferred. Hopefully he can't trap my queen. We are going to get some... Black has some compensation of some sort. But I don't think my queen can get trapped. Yeah, I was talking about who named the hillbilly attack. I'm suspecting it might have been Jack Young, but... You have to ask Brian Wall. Maybe he knows. He's an old friend of Jack Young's. Brain wall. Queen takes a8. Camel culture made me think of Colorado. So he's trying to trap my queen with bishop b7. It's very subtle. That doesn't trap my queen, though. He needs another move yet to trap my queen with bishop d6. Bishop c5 is coming. You can't have everything, though. Where is Astrobate? Well, he probably expected my stream to start at 12:30. I think everybody thinks different time now because I've been mixing it up between 12, 12:15, and 12:30. So now he's literally threatening to trap my queen. We do have queen e4 check. Then bishop e6, I suppose, would allow me to play like knight to d4. And then it gets kind of weird. Baleful is pretty tricky. I don't think when the Colorado Gambit was named that people would necessarily know that that would be like one of the first states to legalize marijuana or whatever. Just a coincidence. Queen e4 check, bishop e6, knight d4, bishop c5, knight takes... Alright, let's... He's going to play castles and rook e8. So bishop e6, knight d4, castles, knight takes e6, rook e8, castles, rook takes e6. I have no development, but there's not a lot of pieces left on the board. Whoops. Baleful's using my analysis against me. So hopefully there's not enough pieces on the board to do any damage. We get rid of his stupid bishop pair. Anything with f5 is cool. Well, don't play it in this position, because I think he's secretly giving suggestions to the opponent. Baleful just copies my analysis. That's not fair. They copy and paste. If I play queen a8 now, that's kind of annoying. We pin his knight. Like, seriously. It's not a stupid move. I have material to give back, so... He's threatening the very deep bishop takes f2 now. Sadly, due to material surplus, it's like economic policy, economic theory. There's a surplus of goods, so we have to give up the surplus goods to fix this economic situation. We just give up the extra stuff and we don't need it. Now your b8 knight is a little problem. Baleful is not using his time. Another master of time management. The Latvian Gambit. You played it very much, Saul. Thanks everybody for donating and supporting the stream. Thanks for the Streamlabs donations. We got a bunch of Streamlabs donations in the last couple weeks. You can see that on the scrolling. The scroll. Rook e8. It's a nice hallucination, man. Well. Alright, that's e1 anyway. You know those beginners who are always getting the coordinates wrong? Masters rarely do it so much, but that's difficult to keep up with people when they're like analyzing the board backwards. I said rook a e8. I was thinking about e8 though. He takes my rook and stuff. Not really a good thing. How's your knight doing? I am kind of mocking him. I'm sorry. So knight d7. I don't want to let him out. Can we avoid letting him out with like queen b7? Why don't I just take the pawn? That's another idea. Pawn to queen b7, queen b2, rook e1. Seems kind of weird. We'll just let him out. This is kind of a trivial position, so I'll shut up now. It's sort of ridiculous to analyze this too much depth. We're just up in exchange for nothing. There's not that much to really think about. Baleful dropped a piece. That's not a good idea. It is the best square for your knight, admittedly. But I saw it. The surprising thing was that I saw it. Bang. Knight takes c6. Alright, S4, somewhat unsound. Segas has challenged me to 3-0. We're only doing 5+3 through 7+3. Casual. This guy's Ladyboy is challenging me to 7-3. Alright, Thesso, and I can't say it, 2300 from Iran. Yeah, I'm going to do the half-minute chess. That's my thing, man. Alright, obviously. I can't even, like, not lose on time in 7-minute games. Some guys challenged me to 30-second chess. Briefly. It was briefly the best square for the knight. The most active. E4. It was euthanasia for white, for black there. Alright, so E4. Mr. S4. E4 for S4. S4 rhymes with everything. So what do we do for unusual openings? Masturbate's not here, but let's try the Owen defense. I never really play this. He's avoiding main line by playing the Grand Prix attack. It's basically kind of hoping to transpose to a Sicilian. The knight had a good life, though. Its life was short, but very, very ambitious. It's hard for a Sicilian player like me to resist playing c5. The lichess engine calls f1 and f4 an inaccuracy. This is like the Austrian attack, Pirtz on the other side of the board. What would I do in the Austrian attack? I play like knight to c6 or something. Knight c6 is kind of weird. Like, very weird. That's if you're castling, though. You know, we're not castling with our queen. Inverted, Pirtz defense. Not inverted, mirror image. What do you call it when it's, like, on the side? No, seriously. Bishop b4, I guess? We just put pressure on the e4 pawn. What else is there to do here? f5 seems valid. Well, it's an idea. See, it seems valid. Seems suicidal. It's valid maybe when the bishop leaves f1. It's also good to have the f8 square for the black king. Heilager Bim Bam. You definitely want to be able to play queen h5, check, king f8, rather than g6. Okay, so s4 is closing it. Now what do we do? Well, queen h4 check comes to mind. What would Miles play? The problem is after queen h4 check g3, I need a place to put my queen, and I don't have a good one. At all. Making queen h4 check basically inherently dubious. So with no queen h4 check, I'm also wondering how my b knight is going to get into the game later on. Exotic openings. That's what we're going to call the stream from now on. I like that. It sounds kind of sexual and weird. Erotic chess openings. Bishop b4, e5. What are we going to do? H5 trying to blockade the king side. I'm really having a hard time coming up with the best plan here. Acerbate, where are you? You're the expert in B6. And he's not here. Bob, what's up? I knew I'd get you involved. So we could turn it into a French. It's a French transposition after D5. I'm going to attack his center. I know what the next move is. Did somebody say King F8? See, guys, I can just see these things coming. I'm sacking a pawn. I don't care. It's the winnower. It's the winnower with D6. This is cool. I wanted to play King F8, but I just thought it just felt like red meat, you know. I was afraid of F5 type of stuff. I think King F8 is all right though. That's why I was joking about King F8 a minute ago. This is kind of risky. Infinite Flash says I played F4 back in my undergrad days. My only 2 wins versus title players are with F4. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who play it, like masters who play F4 seriously. Didn't Tim Taylor write a book on it or something? Well, obviously, the Yabada tell you the Danish Grandmaster Henrik Danielson is the world's leading authority. All right, so Knight F5 gets challenged by Bishop D3 at the end of the day. But that's all right. We're going to have to play a move to not lose that pawn. So Queen D7 is interesting, but it just looks like it's bad because the bishop takes F5 and queen takes G7. So I think I kind of have to make a decision here. Castling is not that absurd to sack a pawn. It's only a little absurd. It would be a brave thing to do. Bishop takes F3, queen F3, obviously. Okay, well, I mean, I think I have to do this. For lack of a better option. I wasted all my time now. He has a 2-to-1 time advantage. The bird's opening. Birds. Bird is the word. Yeah, Asians do age well. I was aging well for a while till I hit 39. Then it all fell apart. The wheels fell off. It's like the federal government. With the wheels, that is. Coming off. H4. Alright. Now he's going to have to play G4. It's not in S4 style to trade queens. I mean, absolutely not. But it kind of feels like we have a decent sort of Gurgenidze Caro-Kann going on. Where should I put my knight, though? The proverbial question. I mean, he can't do G4 here. This is crazy. I mean, G4, he would love to play that, but look at the diagonal, man. You can't play G4. Maybe it would have been better to play knight C6. Knight C6, knight E7. Asians age well. Bishop takes F3. Queen takes F3. Knight takes D4 on the pawn. But that gets really weird. But is it weird in a good way or weird in a bad way? Really materialistic. Bishop takes F3 and D5 would be funny. like closing the center on him. No, but I'm still missing my white square bishop there. It sort of hurts. It's definitely not right to do that. Oh, I have an idea. Alright, this seems crazy and greedy, but what the hell. Let's be crazy and greedy. He can also play bishop takes f5. Then I have bishop takes g2. Alright. I'm running out of time, so beard's really itchy. I need to be materialistic here. I mean, I'm going to try to take this. I saw something I didn't see before at the last moment, which sort of makes this kind of work. If you play the opening correctly, he squeezes me like a constrictor until I blunder. It's important to play the opening correctly to have a chance. That's according to Merle. Against me. Well, the other way to beat me, Merle, is just to flag me, which seems to be the popular method. Alright, so he's doing this to save his to save his pawn to bishop takes e6 looks like a really bad thing that I don't want to allow. I'm just going to play this as simply as possible. Pretend I'm playing like Nefedov or something. Where is Nefedov today? He's probably working. I have the feeling I'm castling queenside in this game. We're going to try. I thought pawn takes was super interesting. I'm surprised he didn't play pawn takes, because he likes dynamic type of stuff. And it would have kept the g-file open for white while controlling e4 and g4. That move was... yeah, that move was definitely an option. Count Nefedov. That's infinite flash. Nefedov's hurt by that. What do you mean, Count Nefedov? My knight sort of sucks. It's in the wrong place, clearly. Okay, it can go to e7, which is no big bargain. But black is okay here. I think the best thing you can get against s4 is like a rock-solid position. Can't really out-calculate him too easily. Playing the French like George Meyer. There are some relations between the Owen defense and the French. Just ask Christian Bauer. Get it? No. He's sacking a pawn. I don't want your frickin' pawn, man. Nice try. His bishop isn't that bad. You see, he doesn't want to play g3 because it will restrict his pieces. Look at this, another one. What's going on here? Probationary. Kick him off the diagonal, but we weaken our structure in so doing. Oh man, he's gonna just win on time? What was I thinking? This is sort of a stupid move. How can you do that? Oh, you're gonna take my pawn. All right. I didn't really consider it. That was nice calculation. Is f4 hanging? No. Why am I losing on time every game? My addiction to using time is a huge problem. Well, I could have taken on f4. Just incredible play by White. Does he have a plus score against me lifetime? Yeah, he's plus score. Yes, dropped a rook. Why would he play rook e7? Well, he doesn't have a plus score lifetime now. That was an impressive victory by me. He dropped a rook. Okay. That was totally lost, obviously. But it was a really good game until then. I mean, I was better most of the game in the late middle game. And then I just started to hang everything. At this point, when he traded queens, it's like slightly better for White. Yeah. But previously, I was just better. I missed queen a2 here. Alright, an eventful game. Let's play Someone Unsound next. That position was somewhat unsound. Alright, man. Meant to play rook d7. At least I got a nice impressive victory. So what are we doing that's unusual against d4, d5? I don't know what this is called, but we're going to try it. The stream is lagging hard. Well, I had the analysis engine on, I guess. Hopefully the analysis engine off, it shouldn't do that. A weird sort of Verisov here. Sometimes, yeah, I've got more lag than others, but I'm hoping that that's just the stockfish will chill. Black screen now. Uh-oh. Are you serious? Let me see. We've got 54 viewers. Black screen. Why do I have a black screen? Looks like it's okay now. You can refresh it. It should be working. Alright, Someone Unsound is like letting me take on f6 and double the pawns. A form of Trompowsky. I think that maybe the engine just overloaded my stream. The Bostonian aged internet. Well, I'm not in Boston, but I'm not that far, I guess. I think that Comcast just sucks. That's why my internet sucks. There's no other explanation. It probably sucks everywhere, though. Bishop takes f6, e takes f6. Yeah, the Budapest internet is better than the United States. But that's a metropolitan city, you know? I mean, it's not that surprising. Maybe in Boston the internet's better, I don't know, but here I'm outside the city pretty far. Bishop takes f6, e takes f6. This isn't too bad for black. So what are we supposed to do? I'm going to have to move my queen again if it gets attacked by knight to b4, obviously. You just try to hunker down. It's lagging hard at the moment. Infinite flash chess, it's still lagging. No, it's better. Alright, so it's just kind of a classic Trompowsky structure here. He played bishop g7. Pretty boring stuff for me. Try to put pressure on his d5 pawn. Force him to retreat. But anyway, this is a normal move in this kind of position. Anonymous, thanks for joining us. It was a moral victory for Saul. Queen b5 was a way to win a pawn? Wow. I didn't think that. You know, I didn't even seriously consider it, other than looking at it just kind of generically as a possibility. The possibility of the move considered for a brief moment, but I never looked at it like, oh, it could win a pawn for real. Alright, so this looks kind of like a artificial plan for black. He ends up playing knight b4, but now he's going to get kicked back, so can he justify this? And he doesn't really want his knight on a6 particularly. That might be what he has to do, though. I mean, he might have to play c6, a3, knight a6. I mean, it's not that bad for black. This whole situation is kind of weird too, you know, with bishop f5, bishop g7, pawn on f6. That's kind of strange, but there's not too much I can do, you know, with this for white. Years ago, the Vietnamese grandmaster Nguyen Ngoc Trongson made his grandmaster title in Budapest when I was there by just playing the Trompowsky every single game. It's still amazing that he did that. When you know it's coming, you didn't think it would be a really dangerous system. But this was a messed up version of the Trompowsky by me. I'm thinking, should I play a3 right away, you know, in order to not let him play a5? You know, maybe a5 is a good move, but maybe he doesn't want to weaken his queenside pawns. I don't know. I didn't really like my openings so far today. Sometimes I play d4, but I don't really have a lot of great ideas for unusual systems with d4. I mean, the Veresov, the Trompowsky, not that many options really. So queen d7. Queen d7, looking for bishop h3. Do I have any discoveries on the knight on b4? I guess we'll kick it out. Then he can play for knight c7 and rejoin the game. I mean, it's not that bad for black, actually. I try to be too much of a perfectionist in openings in the blitz, and that's how I get into time pressure every game. When most people like S4, for example, just play moves. I mean, even strong players just play moves. But I make an effort to try to play the best moves, and then I use all my time. So now black's fine. I mean, I don't think that I have any sort of advantage. A lot of people might think white's better because black has double pawns, but actually I don't really think that's the case here. He has too much good control of the center to be really worse. So I joked with someone on Sound that he's a self-styled gambit player, but he's actually a solid positional endgame grinder. Okay, knight f4 is pretty good. g5 would weaken his king side, so maybe this is a no-brainer. I'm not that used to the Trompowsky, these type of positions, but I like the way that black is playing very patiently. Knight a4, b6, c4. It's a crazy cool idea. dc. Knight a4, b6, c4. He has c5 there. I'd have to sack a piece or something. Sack a beast. Darn. Knight a4 almost works. I'll have to prepare it with like b3, I guess. Down to 37 seconds. I mean, this is the strategic idea. I'm not sure it even works. Well, if like DC, I could even play rook takes c4. That was my first idea. Okay, now what do I do? Fix his pawns? Well, I don't want to let him to... I could have played knight d3, I guess, but pieces are coming to get my king with knight g5. So we gotta do this. That helps him, though. He's played well. Why not take with the f-pawn there? I think that was a clear mistake. I understand you want pressure down the e-file, but given an opportunity to play like f takes e and e5, maybe black should seriously avail himself of that opportunity. There's a very strong possibility he ends up in good knight versus bad bishop endgame now, which is basically what the Trompowsky player really wants here. We want to have a knight, and you don't have a knight. That's what happened to Yabatas in game 2, or whatever it was. Alright, now what? We take with a rook and just bring down the pressure on the pawn. Not so simple, though, because my b3 pawn is a weakness. I'm not sure this even works. I have knight c5 if b5, as Infinite Flash just pointed out. Not rook takes c6, because queen takes b3 looks good. Kind of good for black. Kind of good. But maybe I should have just played more simply like b takes c. Oh man, I'm going to blunder. Just in case something forks me. Now he's hanging on. I guess I have b4 though. Still, it's not that simple. Do I have it? Like queen c2, rook c2, Rook d6, b4. Wow. Man, he's gaining time. I think my lag is screwing my clock. This lag excuse is really good. You can use that for almost anything. I didn't want to get self-pinned. I don't know if I'm winning here. I mean, I'm better. But he could attack my pawn. Maybe I have b6 in most positions. Don't want to turn on the engine. Alright, turn it off quick before it destroys my stream. That was a good game, guys. Alright. Very, very good battle. Lots going on there, though. So, came down to time, though. Almost all the games are coming down to time. Only stupid names left. Saga, Cena. Pastor is challenged me to rated 3-0. I'm playing like these games, basically commentating them while I play. So, you know, if you see me off the stream, I might be able to play a 3-0, but I don't do that when I'm doing like live commentary in my streams. So Nef is the next subscriber. If you guys are subscribers and I don't realize, let me know. The chat is lagging for everything's lagging for me. I suddenly dropped down to 35 because I think we had to refresh the stream. A lot of people left. Guys, if you had trouble with the stream, refresh it. Hopefully it will work. We suddenly dropped down from like 50 to 35 viewers. Nefyudov. Unusual openings. The Sargassa opening. I get it confused sometimes. There's Saragossa. Like the Spanish city, right? But the confusing thing, then there's the Portuguese sea, like the Sargasso Sea. I get those two like geographical things confused. You predict a draw. No, not in Blitz. Nefyudov is now playing the backside of the c3 Sicilian. He does play the Sicilian sometimes, actually. Though his normal defense is e4, e5. I can get him to transpose to the c3 Sicilian. Which is kind of weird. Is the chat still not? The bits leader. Yeah, we got very laggy stream. I agree. The chat is laggy too, like you guys mentioned. So g6 is unusual here. Is that Twitch or is that my fault? If the stream is laggy on the Twitch chat, is that what causes that? Basically, is the question. The opening's named after the Spanish city, Saragossa. I don't know how that came to be, though. Another opening naming question. If we asked who created the hillbilly attack, and now the next question is who created the Sargasso opening? Saragossa. Alright, c takes d4, d6. Who was Saragossa? Was it a person? We need a history lesson. Spanish/Portuguese history lesson. Okay, d6. Now, we have kind of the optimal c3 Sicilian, I think. The optimal dream. Some people play this for black, like it's okay, but I think that this is really more or less what white's aiming for when he plays the c3 Sicilian. Some people play d6 against the c3 Sicilian. But if you get this kind of position, I never quite understood, like, this seems like the ideal pawn center. White's happy. So now what? Bishop e2. Bishop e2 is kind of quiet. Someone on sound. Well, not a lot of tactics in that game, so there will be a lower center pawn loss. Nefedov is an expert on this, apparently. Even though he plays only e4, e5 normally. I think a6 is probably the best move. This is the plan for black. Secretly an expert. He knows a lot more than I knew he knew, apparently. Zaragoza, maybe some Spanish historical figure, I don't know. We have nobody from Spain in the chat today. Morales is not here. Yul Skinner, who lives in Spain, is not here. And Natalia, as I stutter my way through the sentences, not here. So Nefedov plays the absolute best way of trying to make this work for black, I suppose. Ruy Lopez style. Speaking of Spanish history. It's amazing, Nefedov. He's so fast. We used a minute. He's 1400 in bullet. So Saragossa opening is named after a person. Saragossa has to be a person, but who was Saragossa? What's the historical significance of that name? An ancient Spanish king or something. I don't know. So what are we supposed to do now? I'm running out of ideas. e5, bishop d3, bishop e3. It's a little bit of a quandary as to what I'm supposed to do. How about bishop f4? We'll compromise. Yeah, well, that's the reason why I brought it up, Infinite Flash Chess, because I played c3 on move 1. That's how we tricked Nefedov into this. I really like the way Nefedov is playing. For an e4, e5 player, his ability to adapt here is astounding. And it's not the first time. He plays the dragon like a genius whenever I try to trick him into playing the black side of the dragon. Tense battle. So he's basically turning it into a Lopez, but he plays a weird kind of Lopez. He plays the black side of the, Schliemann, so having his f-pawn glued down on f7 is probably not something he's used to. Okay, so here do we have anything to exploit black? Lots of pressure at d4. Just masterful play. He's completely okay. PogChamp, the key to my dreams are with it. The c3, I've played as a joke in a couple of games. So knight to d5. The most notorious of my games with c3 was against this guy who played the Smith-Morra every single game. So I got paired with him with white, and I thought if I play c3, he'll play he'll play e5, And then I can play c4 and trick him into playing the Smith-Morra with mirror image position. But he didn't cooperate. Like, I played c3 and he played f5. I don't know why Nefedov does this draw for a thing. You know, in Simul, when I have no time, it's when I'm playing 20 boards, I take draws. But in Blitz, I generally try not to. So here, what do we do? Rook a d1. Develop last piece. I mean, how is he like 2 minutes ahead of me on the clock? My God. He's played like perfectly. I don't understand how you're 1700. Maybe that's it. One move tactical blunders. So many people are vulnerable to one move tactical blunders. Hasty move. My dad used to say haste makes waste. So you know why I lose on time now. It's like very formative. Ironically, I never really had problems with time pressure until I hit 39. The key age in your chess life. Is anybody back? We have 32 viewers. We're dropping viewers. What's going on? Like, are we lagging so bad people are leaving? Or did somebody else start streaming that picked up all my viewers? I think we were up around 50. We've got lichess in the title. I know King Crusher was streaming. I mean, he is the greatest chess streamer in the world, so it makes sense that I would lose viewers to him. What? This is interesting. Wow. Alright, I'm just going to take things and ask questions later. Now your queen and your other stuff are hanging. Your queen and your rook. It's a good thing that e4 was protected. And that was why I put my rook on e1. Nefedov starts combining. I just don't believe in this for black. Clash Kid, what's up? Oh no, another view. Oh no, it's Charlie Hertan, FIDE Master. Mr. Donkey. Oh, it said it was in Western Mass, so I figured it was you. Awesome, awesome. I'm doing a chess stream right now, so everybody knows I'm talking to Mr. Donkey here. Sacking my queen for 3 pieces as we speak. Absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, does that really make a big difference or anything? Okay. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Right. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm really flexible with the time, so whatever's good for you. All right, one of the guys here said, "Charlie, I got your book. I'm your biggest fan." Yeah, no, the book, chess, the tactics book, Forcing Moves. Yeah, I have a game in that book as well. Yeah, that's awesome. Right, Rakowski, Cane Man. We called him the Cane Man. No, but I did. I mean, with some other people. He had 2 canes. He weighed like 300 pounds. Sometimes I tell people about him. And when he beat me, he was like, he never said a word of English. But when he beat me, he was like, revenge. He like never spoken English before. Yeah. All right, man. So I'll see you tomorrow. That's funny. Beautiful furniture. All right. We'll talk later. Okay, man. Bye. So, coming to do an appraisal tomorrow. All right, Nefidov, that was entertaining. Took a live phone call from Mr. Donkey while we did the stream. So I'm on TV. Hi, Mom. Mr. Donkey's coming over tomorrow. Unfortunately, he probably won't be here for my stream. FIDE Master Charlie Hurton, author of Forcing Chess Moves. Okay, so Nefidov goes down after, I think, playing the opening really well. It was just a kind of messed up combination he tried to do that didn't work. Hallucinated or something, I think. I'm not sure how safe and how correct this whole queen sacrifice was, but it was pretty entertaining anyway. Okay, so what we got for time? It's 1:30, so we started at 12. We've got an hour left in the stream. I'm taking challenges from our subscribers and viewers. It looks like the subscribers are gone, so we can take some challenges from other players. All right, only stupid names left. Who have an ongoing? I have an ongoing. Let's see, an ongoing correspondence game. Clash Kid, what's up? Playing around with my new beamer. I have the stream on my 4x3 meter in my room. It's hilarious. Why is it acting like I have two boards open with the weird notifications? Okay, that's strange. Anyways, we're black against stupid names left. So Clash Kid, playing around with my new beamer. I have the stream on my whole 4x3 meter while in my room. Oh, that's awesome. I was like, oh, you got a BMW. But Europeans don't call BMWs beamers. It's a BMV. A beamer. Knight F3. All right. So, what are we going to do for unusual openings? Hard to do against Knight F3, really. You know, how do you play unusual openings against Knight F3? I try to play D6 sometimes. But let's just play the Dutch. I never play the Dutch. JCS, what? Infinite Flash Chess? I bought the book based off your first stream. So, are you talking about Forcing Chess Moves again? You're curious what I'm drinking? If I ever need to distort reality, I need... What do you have? Mr. Donkey, man. I was talking to Mr. Donkey on the phone. He's a crazy guy. Makes me laugh, man. All the funny things he said. Alright, so Knight F3, F5, D4. We're just going to transpose to a Dutch. A beamer is not beamer. I guess a beamer is different from a beamer. We would say projector. Yeah, a projector. Beamer sounds like Star Trek. Knight C3. An unusual move for sure against my Dutch. So we try to play like a Nimzo style. Mr. Donkey inspired Mr. Ponda. Nefidov, you're welcome. So I thought we'd play this Nimzo style. A little more aggressive than like Bishop E7. Well, I would pronounce it Beamer, you know, like a BMW equals Beamer. Memer. It's a memer. I don't know how Beamer, it's, how do you spell a Beamer? We would say a Beamer. Like this. BMW equals BMV in Hungarian equals Beamer. Dutch players. Thanks everybody for watching and supporting the stream. I had generous donations this past couple of weeks via Streamlabs and PayPal and the bits here on Twitch. Thanks a lot, Clash Kid, for your continued support. Queen D3 now, so we're both kind of playing unusual stuff here. Stupid names left getting in the spirit with Knight C3, Queen D3. Very similar to the setup I tried against someone on Sound. So queen d3. Well, eventually, I guess I'm going to have to break the pin. There is d6, though. I could try waiting another move or so. d6 castles. It's basically a Nimzo. Queen b5 check is knight c6, so we don't have to worry about that yet. Right? No surprises, please. I don't play the Dutch much. That was completely accidental. That those two words happen to rhyme. And now there's no longer a pin, so that's kind of an issue. I take with the bishop and give up this darn bishop. Bishop takes c3, queen takes c3, knight e4, and then maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just let him, do his thing, play h6 and let him take an f6, take with the queen. Maybe b5 check, knight c6, then d5. I have stuff like bishop takes c3. It gets kind of complicated. There's a lot to think about. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Coin expert, FIDE Master Charles Hurtan coming for an appraisal tomorrow. Not a chess-related matter. Castle kingside. Sorry, that's queenside. I'm castling kingside. I'm thinking about castle kingside. Bishop takes f6, queen f6. And then my bishop's just hanging out to dry on b4. I don't really like that it's not a pin any longer and he can embarrass my bishop. Camel Culture says, whenever lichess, because of lichess, whenever I see Russian, I always assume I'm being cursed at. People always get freaked out when I can speak a little bit of Russian. My mom's doctor is surprised. Because I studied Russian for 4 semesters in university. And I have, obviously being a chess player, been around a lot of Russian-speaking people. But Nefedov will attest to the fact that my Russian is not too great. Bishop takes c3, queen takes c3. Although I think 20 years ago I could probably communicate reasonably. Now I forgot everything. So knight e4, bishop takes d8, knight takes c3. That's pretty good. Maybe we should just do this. My development is the problem here. And I don't really want to play queen d7. Pravda glasnost. A little bit weaker than me. I'm a little bit, my vocabulary is a little more extensive. Somewhere in my subconscious I memorized a lot of Russian words that I could remember if I refreshed my studies a little bit. My Russian is slightly worse than my American, and your American English slightly worse is a very kind assessment from Nefedov. Конечно. I'd probably get a lot more viewers if I could do the stream in Russian, Hungarian, and English, and Spanish. We could do 4 different languages. 3 I'm horrible at, and 1 that I can actually speak. I think my level of Hungarian is probably, by far the best, of course, of foreign languages. I can actually converse in Hungarian. Spanish is forgotten. Russian is forgotten. So stupid names here. Just sacked in exchange? Why would he do that? Totally unnecessary sacrifice. I think kind of hallucination or something. Someone on sounds, yeah, he's he's an authority on kinds of English, I guess. Knowing both. An oxymoron, American English, absolutely. American. Speaking American. So basically what just happened? White just voluntarily sacked an exchange. Just for kicks. So maybe I should put my king on e7. But I mean, on d7 I sort of gain a tempo. Is it a useful tempo though? What about e7? I mean, at the end of the day, he's got to make those bishop moves anyway. This is actually kind of a smart move by me, I think. If not to be arrogant. But gut instinct, the reflex move is king d7, but I would just get in the way of my own pieces, forcing him to make a move he needs to make anyway. This way I actually keep squares free, and maybe give him a chance to get his bishop trapped. So this is good. He's got a pawn for the exchange, but that's not really enough. There's literally no reason for him to sack that exchange. Too subtle for the stream, Nefdov. It just went way over my head, man. Now what do we got? Another message? No time to talk to anybody else. You guys are distracting me, people. This is an old message. Oh. Oh no. Someone wants to reschedule something. Knight g5 is a very suspicious move. So I'm going to end up getting like 2 pieces for a rook. I'm going to end up winning a piece, right? Well, I don't have to win a piece. But knight g5 looks like a waste of time. We've had some fun openings today. So bishop d6, king d6, knight f7, king e7, knight h8, and then bishop d7, and we win a piece for like 2 pawns. So that's not good. He has to play bishop a5 now, and makes knight g5 look like a silly waste of time. Yeah, I mean, he's not developing his pieces. Clearly that's not good for him. 2 pawns for a piece is not enough. Now, I think that only Superdines left has a lot of potential. This is like an impulsive decision, and it takes years of experience to train ourselves not to be impulsive. So a lot of people who are kind of starting out have a tendency to do crazy stuff. Who else here was like a late starter that, say, you know, has issues like one move blunders? Didn't we have another game today where that happened? Someone had a really good position and they did something impulsive. Alright, dude, I can't meet you tomorrow night. How about Friday? Since I have no life. Alright. E3. Man, black just better. King, piece for 2 pawns. No, I guess we'll just bring the knight back into the game. I could let him take on a6. That would be a weird endgame, but winning for black objectively. I mean, b5, a4 seemed a little strange to me, so... What I don't really want to do is let him trade pawns. Being a piece up 2 pawns. I want to try to conserve pawns, because that's one of the best ways to draw this type of position for white would be to literally trade all the pawns off. and reach like rook versus, let's say for argument's sake, rook versus rook and bishop, you know. It happens. In this case, there's a lot of pawns on the board, but you really have to be wary about that kind of thing. When you're up a piece, one of the main things you should be thinking is like, what, you know, I don't want to avoid any kind of scenarios where there's no question about like if there's any pawns left on the board or not being a factor. Okay, now right now I am a little bit worried that he's just getting off space. So a5 could lead to exchanges of pawns too. He's got 8 pawns on the board. I mean, it's kind of a weird situation. It's 17th move and there's 8 pawns on the board for white. 8 pawn queen ending. I doubt that's ever happened. I mean, I had the 7 pawn queen ending with Magnus, and I swear I don't think I've ever had a queen end game with anybody else. Only my game with Magnus, where I had literally 7 pawns left on the board for both sides. I mean, that's pretty weird. Wouldn't it be funny? Could you theoretically get a queen end game with 8 pawns on the board for both sides? That'd be a little strange. I think that's impossible. The chess mysteries of Sherlock Holmes. No answer. So Supinaze is making some good moves. Who's in the queue? So we've got Big Money is the only other subscriber in the queue right now before you move 11. We've got 45 minutes left. I'm starting to make an effort to put my pawns onto dark squares because his dark square control is kind of lacking. Eight queens for both sides can be done, but that's not what I'm asking. I want to know if you get a queen in game with all the pawns on the board. That'd be kind of messed up. An all pawn queen end game. It's kind of hard to trade the rooks without any pawns getting exchanged. That'd be really demented. It is a bit trickier than it looks. I mean, and white's kind of... You get the feeling like white is really motivated, like now that he's down a piece or something. Ever since he lost a piece, he became highly motivated. The more pieces he's down, the better he plays, basically. This seems to be the modus operandi here for white. It's going to be very hard to break through now. This is probably a mistake, but I'm getting low on time. Is Only Stupid Names? You are a subscriber, right? I'm going to have to open it up at some point. I'm going to lose on time. Up a piece. Man. Alright, now I think we can slowly put some pressure on. Incredible performance, considering he's 1600. Okay, there goes the structure. I mean, b6 pawn is going to need protection. The knight has no value. Alright, finally. So, we've got to take the subscribers first. I'm going to go with Big Money. And Move 11 is our next subscriber. Morwa's not a subscriber to the stream, but he is a friend. I would take him after the subscribers. My phone started like very objectionably opening like games and stuff from Google. That's offensive. I don't know why it's doing that. All right, what are we gonna do for unusual openings here? F4. Play the Dutch already. Anyway, guys, we have like 40 minutes left for today. The Bird Larson. The Bird Larson versus the Sicilian. Okay, so now it really transposes to a bird's opening. Properly. We can really try to get Lasker versus Bauer again. Against the Abatis in the early game, if we had only had our bishop on d3, we would have had the sick double bishop sacrifice. But it was not to happen. We could transpose. Famous game. But how was Lasker Bauer? Was it this position? White played bishop d3. It's probably like the same position though. I don't remember how black placed their pieces in that game. Bishop d3 is like experimental. Normally you would play bishop e2 or else like bishop e5 playing it like a Bogo Indian or Nimzo. Okay, so Big Money just did the Abatis thing, where he did d4 against me too. But in this case, Black's playing it much earlier. And there's some merit to it, I guess. I mean, basically the idea is to trade this pawn for this pawn. Trade the d pawn for the f pawn. In a vacuum, that should be good for me, though, because it's a central pawn. The f pawn does... You know, it does create some interesting possibilities, let's say. If I were to take, he is to recapture, and then how do I recapture on d4 with the bishop or whatever? He gains a tempo with knight c6, and then I have to retreat, then he takes the pawn on f4, and my king's safety is a little bit reduced. Or we can just ignore it and let him capture on e3. It's basically like a... Well, I played the English defense a lot, so I don't mind that too much. We can even sack a pawn in some lines. You have to allow knight b4. Yeah, I mean, in the Lasker-Bauer game, Emmanuel Lasker allowed knight b4, and Bauer didn't play the move when he should have played it to drive the bishop off the diagonal, bishop d3, h7. Here, Big Money didn't even play knight c6 yet, so that's not an issue. What I'd like about allowing this situation is that we keep our options open. Here's an aggressive move now. Very aggressive move. But keep in mind that Black is not developing their pieces. You know, and that's the thing about this position that's a bit weird. If I take on d4, you take on f4, and I play bishop e5 check. I can also just play something like queen e2. I don't know if I want to do that. Queen e1 may be better. I guess queen e1. Though maybe I should take now or forever hold my peace. That's a good chess joke, right? Knight takes f4, b5 check, I guess, is convenient. Though this trades off... It trades off, you know, his bad bishop. I get to do it with gain of time, theoretically. Maybe I don't do it on his terms. Maybe I can play a4. Just to be controversial. I can also take on c5 and then play d4. probably the most normal thing to do. Next, let's say. I had no interest in the G7 pawn here. Merle, thank you for gifting another subscription to T-Dark. Man, you've been very, very kind to a lot of our viewers. Infinite Flash says, I played against an IM in a correspondence game. The D4, F5, Knight F3, E6, D5. Yeah, I played that and got a horrible game, but I didn't know what I was doing in a blitz game here once. Miles played that. There was a new in chess. There was a new chess yearbook article about that like 20 years ago. It's playable for white. When I looked at it, the statistics aren't that great, which isn't surprising. I guess it was one of those sort of surprise ideas that had some value for a while, but once black figures out how to play against it, it's not that great. Alright, so bishop c6. Kind of a weird move for black. So we take and we play d4, I guess, just because d4 is overprotected. It does block our bishop on b2, but ultimately someday, many, many years from now, maybe the diagonal will reopen. The video frozen again? If your video is frozen, just try to reload the page. My connection has been kind of sketchy, so we've had various issues today with lag, but I think it's basically all right. Just try reloading. So Big Money is just kind of speculating. He's throwing his pieces around, not really developing that much. In fact, here I might. Well, I have to be careful because if I play knight e5, he has queen g5, like a one-move threat of mate. So I was trying to outstrip him in development, and that's basically what we're doing. Probably I'm missing some good moves here and there, but all my pieces are mobilized. I mean, every single piece except for the rook on a1 is in the game. And even that's in the game, arguably, because of a4. So actually, the whole army is mobilized now. Dark suggested c4, and it's definitely a move. But I would prefer to get the pieces out and get the knight to c4. Knight c4 will come with the threat on the bishop on b6, so it's pretty, it's pretty invasive. Okay, he can give that up, but it still could be inconvenient at some moment. I'm threatening knight d6 check. I'm threatening stuff like bishop a3, bishop a3 now, for example. Looks pretty strong. Now he can't castle, at least for the time being. That was a bishop that I wasn't happy to block with d4, but I'm gonna be streaming for another half an hour today, guys. Tomorrow night we have our subscriber stream, so actually Thursday night, 4:30. I have to remember to send a message to everybody to remind all the viewers and subscribers that we are streaming. And you can submit games for analysis on 4:30. At 4:30. It's at 4:30. I'm going to speak English properly. American English. Wow, G5. G5 is crazed. Crazy. At least there's no bishop on B2 anymore. But he's going to get hurt here. I mean, I want to get the knight off of F4, and I can afford to allow knight G3 check. That knight is just his only good piece. We send it back, and I mean this might be an option at some point. It looks like a really, really good king's gambit for white. Basically, Bronstein would be happy. There used to be a semi-strong player who liked to play E4, E6, E5 in Colorado. That's like the kind of move that park players play for like 30 years. All over the world. Um, it's a classic. I'm wondering if I made an error. 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 I like self-mating myself here. Virtual self-mate. That's close. I mean, if he had queen d5, I'm getting mated. So I seriously underestimated this. Fortunately, he can't jump over his knight. It's going to be hard for him to keep everything together. That was a little scary. I'm threatening queen takes g4. And knight takes h3. So knight f6, knight takes h3. Nothing like calculation. Queen d5 check, king g1. And if pawn takes h3, I'm getting mated on g2. So that's a good line for black. Murica. Park players. People who play in the park rather than tournaments or something like that. Yeah, big money's just missed knight f6. That was an interesting idea. The knight at g1's a pretty good defender. Conveniently guarding h3. He didn't have to sack a piece here. I mean, this wasn't necessary. You know, so I wonder if we go back and turn on the engine for like 1 second when he played this move, you know, knight g1. If you play knight f6 now, threatening queen d5 check, I probably have a strong move, knight e3, which I missed initially. But anyway, I mean, black isn't like lost. He just has kind of dubious position. All right. So move 11 is our next subscriber. Then I'll take Morwa. And if we have time, you know, we'll play one of those other guys. Because move 11 is a subscriber. Morwa has been regular here on my stream. All right. Knight f6, knight h3, queen d5 check. That's the idea. So maybe I should just play knight e3. Move 11. What are we playing for unusual openings against you? Oh, let's try something funky. I never play the French, so for me that's an unusual opening, but I'll try to be a little bit more creative than just playing the flat-out French. What if we play this? This is a weird system. Growing up, when I was in high school, we had a Serbian player, played the early e5 advance against Sicilian and French. Miloš. The Miloš. So here's a kind of weird move, bishop e3. It's not a weird bad move, just he's committing the bishop kind of early. You know, you'd expect that most people would like play like knight f3 here for white. So move 11 plays bishop e3. Nothing wrong with that, but it's committal for the bishop. From the bishop's perspective. So we play d5. Fogarashi versus me. No, Fogarashi played f3. That was different. That was different. It was e4, knight c6, d4. e4, knight c6, d4, d6, f3. I believe. No. Tibor. No, that was a Nimzovich with d4, d6, and Tibor played f3, and I didn't know what to do. Or did Tibor play bishop e3? Maybe he did bishop e3 there. I can't remember. It was so long ago. But it definitely wasn't e6 move 11. I told you about that. I definitely didn't play e6. In those days, I never would have touched e6. I like to play the knight c6, d6 type of setups. It's a weird French. But now maybe move 11 is playing like not the best variation against the, you know, some kind of, what do you call it? What is knight c6 called? The Chittard variation? Bishops before knights, move 11. You always want to move your bishops before the knights. Now you can have a very good version of the exchange variation with ED. I think that's highly promising for white. The critical idea for white in the exchange French is to put the bishop on E3. I'm just kidding, guys. No. This bishop is not, traditionally placed on E3 in the exchange French. But if he doesn't play the exchange variation, he could probably get away with this. What to do now? And maybe E5 is not that bad. E5, F6. Where's Ubatas? Where are you? Where's the other camel? Camel 2. Spectacular camel, what do you think? Okay, knight D2 now. Now E5 loses the tempo. It's a Ben Feingold variation. It looks like maybe knight D2 was one of the better moves for white, though, under the circumstances. What do we do? Knight F6, E5, and suddenly white's position sort of makes sense there. So my problem with E5, like, it's a serious consideration, but come on, I mean, I'm down a move. Don't have too many options. Knight F6, E5. Knight D7 with a weird, probably pretty good line for white, I would think. So we could certainly take on E4. Take on E4 and then play Knight F6. That doesn't seem all that great either. If we take on E4, he takes, we're kind of helping him. So what am I supposed to do now? Tony Miles. Asterbig would play Bishop B4. He likes to do that. Not a move I understand here, though. No, seriously, this is a little bit worrisome. So E5, ED, ED. That's a cool line. E5, ED, ED, DC, DE. Then he takes back on E3. I'm going to lose on time. Alright, whatever. This is just a weird position. Yeah, I mean, right. I could also do ED, knight takes D4. Looking like a weird Feingold variation. Like I was joking about Feingold plays in the Chigorin or whatever. The pawn cube. Of course. Of course. It's only a move 4. We have time for like one more game after this, guys. I'm going to take the challenge by Morois. Being a regular here on my stream. The other guys have to wait a little bit. Ye old pawn cube. The pawn cube is a great formation when all the pawns belong to you. You know, that's when the pawn cube is especially powerful. How often, when was the last time you guys had a pawn cube, you know, all one color? Most commonly occurs in the Caro-Kann, probably like the E takes the E takes F Caro-Kann. You do the EF Caro-Kann, play bishop F5, bishop G6, and then white exchanges on G6. You get a black pawn cube. The great thing about the pawn cube, and this sounds like I'm smoking dope, but the great thing about the pawn cube is its ability that like you can literally send the front level forward. Like those guys are like scouts. You send the front level forward, and you still have like pawn safety after that, which is cool. So you have two different layers. Layers of pawns. My first variation was ED here, which gets really sharp. ED, DC, DE, and then he probably has to recapture. So that's fun. You know, move 11, it's really, really odd that you hallucinated this, because I was thinking about this, you know? Like, why? Did we both have the same hallucination that move makes sense somehow? That's really weird. Maybe it gives us enough time to play a second game. Move 11 just lost in 5 moves with hallucination. He tried to break the symmetry with Queen E2. But it was funny that I actually considered that move, you know. So there's something to it. Um, Pawn Scouts. The front level. It's like a pawn. I'm going to start like hysterically laughing over something stupid again. Where's Bob? Bob, we found something amusing again that I might start laughing uncontrollably about something stupid. Alright, we gotta take Marwa seriously. He's a dangerous customer. I've used almost all of my main weird openings. Joanna tries his rating with a party of 17. That's awesome. Catching the end of the stream. We're welcome for the raid. We've got probably our last 2 games here. I'm supposed to play unusual openings. That's the theme today. So play the acerbate attack with bishop c4. Welcome, Joanna. Thanks for Pepe Lu. Thanks for raiding, guys. These guys are also streamers here on lichess, if you don't already know. We're talking about what happens when you get a pawn cube. Basically, one side has 4 pawns in a cube formation, and thinking of like funny jokes about that. But like you know, when you're black and you have pawns on f7, e7, or let's say f7, g7, g6, f6. And I was joking that you can actually send the first level forward and then keep the other guys back as reinforcements. Pawn scouts. All right. I'm playing bishop c4 just for fun. It's an opening that I used to make fun of, people who would play bishop c4. Very common here on lichess to play bishop c4. I think the best move for black is like e6 straight away. g4. Queen h5. No, I'm not playing ridiculous stuff. So we'll just adapt to the situation. Queen e2 now is a favorite of one grandmaster that I can't recall. But he doesn't do it after knight c6. He does it after e6. Alright, so anyways. Well, we're just going to transpose back into some sort of whatever this is. The bishop c4 attack. It's basically a closed English with colors reversed. Yeah, I love it. I love it when they sack on f7 for like a pawn. I think this is a good defense for white, basically. That would be the way I would describe it. You're playing the black side of the English with an extra move, essentially. So, alright. Well, I've been in the black side of this like 100 million times. Maybe here black has knight a5 now, grabbing the bishop pair. But that in itself is not necessarily a big deal. Because it's such a closed position. What do you call the pawn cube? This is a good defense for white. No, seriously, I mean, if you take the English opening and the bishop c5 closed systems, and you looked at who played that, like, there's some really good players. Sergei Movsesian, and Ivan Sokolov, for example, were playing their favorite defense against the English with an extra tempo. So it can't be that bad. I used to think it was just ridiculous and horrible for white, but it's not so bad. So Marwa goes with knight a5. This is a principled move. He's going to grab the bishop pair. Well, alright, sir. You get the bishop pair, and that should give you long-term prospects. But I don't think it's so bad. Best Annie. Do I know Nesbedinov? Well, I never met him, but I do have a collection of his games, and I'm a big fan of his games. Nesbedinov was one of my poker handles at one point, but I really find him to be a very inspiring player. So, though I'm not a wild tactical style player, I don't think he was necessarily either. He actually played a lot of strategic systems like the Ras Lemos Sicilian and the exchange variation of the Spanish and stuff like that. So But anyways, he was famed as a combative player. So knight e7 for Morwa here. It's like he's trying to be kind of cute. Knight e7, very cute. Was there an argument for letting him take on c4? Yeah. I probably should have considered it more. There's also an argument for him to play knight c6 in this position, I thought. Now, I put my bishop on d2, which looks really lame. So, black just has equality, at least. Although this is just like a blunder. I mean, g6 is patently a blunder in this position. He just lost all this dark square control. Now he can get mated. How to get mated in 5 moves. Like knight e5, knight g4, knight f6 mate, or knight e5, knight c4, knight d6 mate. Like, which way do you want to get mated now? Knight e5. Am I being too direct? But we're having fun. We'll probably play one more game. There is a question, do you do coaching? I have to draw the limit at 2,300. 22.99. I only coach people under 22.99 or below in FIDE ratings. You can't be higher rated than me. All right. No, I do teach chess lately. A lot. In recent times. Morwa probably saw the queen f3 on the horizon. You know. But this game is far from over. One move threats do not cut it in chess. So f5 is, if not forced, it's like a great move. And we are having issues with time. The other thing is my knight getting funkily trapped. I don't know if that's a word, but it sounds kind of cool. Funkily. Having my doubts about this even. The dreaded, yeah, the Clarendon court against e4. I'm not developing my pieces, unfortunately. It seems weird to pull the knight back, playing for subtle threats. F takes e. It looks like I'm just playing for cheapos. $2,100 lichess is like 1,900 FIDE. Yeah, I would say probably. All right, so now it's getting super weird. Probing. Probationary move. Bishop a5. It was just a weird situation, but Morwa should have played knight c6 at some point. Now he's losing a rook. Facing imminent loss of rook. He's desperate now. We're gonna try to Spassky this, like just hunker down on that e4 strong point. You're not going to take my strong point. You're not going to take my strong point. No. No, you're not allowed. Play f3. Spassky's favorite move in the closed Sicilian. Here he comes with g5 now. But I think by the time he tries to get me at g2, I should be able to get some sort of counterplay going on. Clearly. That's a surprising move, but he's going for bishop e3 now. That's a pretty nasty move, actually. I guess I have to play f4. This could get kind of scary, even though he's down a piece. Wow, he's going crazy. Okay, I mean, clearly I have knight to d5 at some point. Wow, this is just mental. I mean, I should be winning. But I'm going to have to give something back. Look how well coordinated he is. Down a rook. Down a rook and completely coordinated. What now? No. G5 was kind of weird. Oh, I had queen h5 check as well. Creative. Well, I guess I just have to try not to lose on time at this point. He's clearly aiming to win on time. I'm certainly confused. Did I just self-mate myself? Pretty close to it. Wow. I'm scared. I don't think it quite works. I mean, he's really close. I have this. And then trading queens. Everything's protected. Look, Mom. Even my bishop's protected on d2. He was like right on the verge of killing me. That's literally lucky. So. My bishop's trapped. Alright, he resigned, man. That was a scary game, dude. Started really bringing it. Whew, that was close, man. Alright. A total Obama. Alright, we're going to play this guy, Segas. If he's got 100 games, this will be my last game for today. Oh, it's 2200. Wait. If he's like 1500 in Blitz and 2200 in Rapid, that's pretty weird. Like, dude, what's up with that? Let's play Bob Lee. Bob Lee? Alright, we'll play Bob Lee 5-3. The other guy's ratings are too crazy. Why does he like have a 500 difference between his ratings? Alright, that was a great game. That was funny. Last game for today, guys. The other guy's rating was just too weird. Could you coach me on the Nimzo Indian and its ideas? I'm actually interested. Well, if you guys are interested in lessons, let's do the 2 Knights Tango reverse. He hasn't played c5 though, so I don't know what this is. Actually, it's not really a 2 Knights Tango, just a kind of passive opening for white. If anyone's interested in lessons, I mean, there's a possibility I'm available, depending on what you're looking for. Anyway, my email is videochesstrainer@gmail.com, so feel free to hit me up with an email. If you're seriously interested in lessons, I do teach. I don't have so much availability, but it's possible. All right. Anyway, guys, or you can send me a message here on lichess, and I can shoot you my email. There are some possibilities. I could take on a couple new people in the next couple of months. So Bob Lee Swagger I've never played before. This is not a rated game, right? I'm too tired to play rated games now. This is the last one for today, guys. We're going to be back tomorrow night for a stream at 4:30. It's the King's Indian. 4:30 Eastern Time tomorrow. He's playing the London system. Very solid. London system versus everything. Can't go wrong with that. It's not very fun, but so Best Annie, if you're interested, send me a message or an email. Or Lova Chess is here. Wow, we've got all the streamers in the house. It's been a while. Thanks for the thanks for the compliment. The beard is pretty new. It's getting cold. So, Orlova Chess, what's up? Just catching the end of my stream. I'm going offline. Yeah, I'm leaving in 10 minutes after this game. So we're just literally finishing my stream. What's up? Happy New Year to Orlova Chess and everybody. Bishop b4 is kind of a weird move, though. Black was setting up for the London system and then kind of randomly threw bishop out to b4. I think that's a bit strange. I mean, normally you would play the London system. You'd probably put your bishop on e7, or just like covers the dark squares. Black doesn't really want to trade this piece off because you have all the pawns on white squares, right? So you generally have a lot of weaknesses on the dark squares. See, he went back. Bob Lee just went back, so I got d2 for free, for whatever that's worth. Not a big deal. Petrosian. So we play for e4. I didn't have a great New Year. My mom is in the hospital, and I'm kind of worried about her, but she'll probably be all right. Yeah. But anyways, it's good to have all the friends here in the stream. You get kind of, if you get down, you've always got your friends here at Twitch and lichess to hang out with. So I hope everybody else had a great New Year. Bishop h7, yep. This is our classic London system. Typically when I play this with white, if it's like a King's Indian attack, I wouldn't normally set up like this. Maybe with the knight on c3 is a bit unusual. You'd almost have to limit a group like lesson to a lecture format for people with weaknesses in those areas. Group lessons are tricky to do. Yeah. I thought about, like, you know, that's hard to organize. You could try to do something like that. This is a group lesson, essentially. In a way. Alright, rook d1 is weird. I don't know what I'm doing here. He's got the classic setup. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't have a plan. It's bad to have no plan. XI Sparks with 100. Thank you, man. Yeah, I had to come home to the United States. I'm normally in Budapest, but I had to come home to the United States to help my mom and take care of her a little bit. And so it's been a kind of struggle. I can't get back to Budapest. Hopefully, like in the spring, I'm going to move back. Right now I'm in the US for the foreseeable future. Bishop h7, I don't know what to do. I was going to play rook d1. It's kind of a weird move. This just like doesn't really adhere to a concrete plan. Such a solid setup for black. I was thinking maybe even knight there. This is a good move by black now. a5, grabbing space on the queen side. So I don't know much about Bob Lee, but I like the way he's playing this. Robert E. Lee. Alright. How's his ratings? It's a new account. Okay. Oh, he's 2600 in rapid. I'm glad I played him then. 2600 in rapid. That's normal. Okay. So I don't think my chances are looking too good in this game. In retrospect, I guess I should have taken a different challenger. Looks like we're gonna go bye-bye in a little while here. If this player is capable of being 2600 in rapid based on 24 games or 12 games, that's not a good sign. 2042 in blitz though. Quite a difference of 600 points. You have faith. Well, I'm only 2500 in rapid, and it took me a while to get there. You know, if he's 2600 after 12 games, he probably won all of his games. Let's see, knight c5. Yeah, this is not an easy position to play for white. Probably it's okay. Now I'm freaked out by my opponent's ominous ratings. I'm gonna have to do something though. I can't keep the tension here forever. Knight to d4. Just really tense position. Black now 2042 in blitz. 2600 in rapid. He has a 2-minute time advantage. My idea is to play for f4 at some point, which is kind of standard. I was looking at queen b6, f4. I'm glad I played king h1. That was like very important because this diagonal, I have a lot of experience and I know that that would be an issue. So you've got like queen b6, f4, knight d3, rook d3, bishop d3, queen d3, and I keep everything protected. Bishop c1 protects the pawn on b2. You know, there he goes. So he probably has some kind of computer-like trick here I didn't see, but basically black played perfectly except for giving me some very strange tempo with bishop b4 that looked like a gift move. He's played perfect moves except for the strange, it was like hierarchs playing on a lower setting or something. We'll see if it's got some sort of tactic here. This is just a positional imbalancing combination. Two pieces for the rook and pawn. So technically like positional material equivalency. But I don't know how to evaluate this. Fishrat Cal, thanks for the donation. Fifth of a cup of Starbucks on me. You guys are awesome. Alright, another one takes its place now, knight c5. Well, there's no real discoveries there for him, so I guess we can just bring the knight, bring the queen over back to the normal locale. My FIDE rating? Someone's asking about my FIDE rating? I hope not. I don't have a FIDE rating. They took it away. They took it away with my title. A6. My rating has been removed from the FIDE list. I asked them to take it, and I'm just kidding. Mr. Coffee, how's my USCF rating doing? Where is Mr. Coffee? He's not here today. Alright, my knight's just going to get attacked. It's a shame, though, I'm backing off of f5. I can't play knight c3. What kind of crazy idea here? Sack a pawn. A strategic pawn sacrifice. Merle Dixon donated another sub. He's donated 8 gift subs in the channel. That's awesome. Alright. This player is pretty strong. I mean, he seems stronger than 2000. I mean, given the 2600 rapid rating, I probably wouldn't play him again, because that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But whatever. We won't discriminate for now. I don't play people who have 500 rating point differences between their ratings. If it's a rated game, you can forget about it. That's just not normal. G5's a great move to come up with very little time. Thank God it's not rated. I asked them, I keep asking FIDE to take away my Ion title, but they don't do it. I'm extremely strong for an M. Guys, this is the last game. I'll be back, tomorrow, 4:30 Eastern Time, with our subscriber stream, which means that I do game analysis. If you guys want to submit a game for me to analyze, that's the idea. So I'll send a message out to all the subscribers just to remind you guys about it. Blockade. Just remember Nimzovich. This guy's not done yet. If he is a guy, assumingly Bob, assumingly someone named Bob is a guy. Probably a fair assumption. Mr. Bob. Assumingly is not a word. A lot of maneuvering going on. She is a woman. I'm going to drop a pawn here. It's a good idea. Bob's kind of underrated at 2042. Whoa. Do I ever have any sort of tactics or anything? Not really. Technical endgame. Ought to be a way to make progress here. Improving the king is not a bad idea. Who is this guy? Girl, whatever. Could be a problem. Alright, that was a long game. Anyway, alright, we will be back tomorrow night. That was a nice game. We'll be back tomorrow night with our subscriber stream. So guys, submit games via lichess if you want to send a message. If you'd like to analyze a game here on lichess. Live on the stream, it's going to be our subscriber stream tomorrow night, 4:30. It was a tough game there. Yeah, even not easy with the time situation with 5+3. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks everyone for watching and subscribing and for supporting the stream, for the donations, most importantly for the subscriptions. Thanks a lot to Merrill Dixon for gifting those subs, Clash Kid Jim, everybody for supporting the stream, Infinite Flash, Nefidab. We'll see all you guys. JCS, thanks for moderating. We'll see all you guys tomorrow night. Thank you from the Chess Pandas. I'm a little behind schedule, so I'm going to get out of here quickly. And thanks to Joanna Tries and Pepe Lou and Orlova Chess, those other streamers who are hanging out with us. Goodbye. Goodbye, guys. And Happy New Year. Belated Happy New Year. We will see you guys later. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Okay.